Hey everybody, Anthony Bowling, Anthony Bowling Group, another episode of Chasing Gazillions, not the same as making millions. It's wonderful to be back with you all here. And again, thank you all for your prayers and your wishes and your support. For those of you, most of you all know by now, a couple weeks ago, I had my last uh, cancer treatment, prostate cancer treatment, and I am cancer free. And I am out here back enjoying every day, making the most of every day. And today we are bringing to you another episode of talking about our seniors and opportunities for those who are 62 years and older here in real estate. We're going to be in a moment bringing on and let's bring on Phil DeRose.
Here I am. Yeah,
Phil
good to
DeRose.
see you again, Anthony.
Hey, it's great to see you, Phil. Hey, we're talking about seniors and our Lunch and Learn event with Mutual Omaha Mortgage, which we're going to be hosting on Wednesday, September 30th, from 12 to 3 p.m. Here at the KWPP Keller Williams Market Center. We're going to have Phil and his entire team are going to be giving a lot of information about reverse mortgages, the how to use them, how to make the most of them. So come enjoy the Lunch and Learn program that we're going to be having September 30th. But until then, we got Phil here today that's going to talk to us about the myths and the facts.
The myths, yeah.
So right. Phil, jump right on in.
Okay, so last week we talked a little bit about a reverse mortgage being used as a refinance to get equity out of your present home, and also the second way would be to make a purchase using a reverse mortgage and reserving some of your cash from selling a home now. So before I can get our customers or my customers to understand that, I generally have to overcome a half dozen or a dozen or so myths that get in everybody's hair and get everyone all confused and thinking that this might not be a good program. So I think Anthony has a little document that we're going to use. Yeah, so here are four, and we selected these four because they're the most prevalent ones, and they really get people concerned in the very beginning. So, the first one, I think we talked about this one a little bit last week, that the bank takes your house. The bank with any mortgage program doesn't really want to take the house. They want to collect interest in origination fees for doing the loan and putting the loan in place for the customers. The reverse is no different. The bank does not take the house. As a homeowner, you retain title to the home, and it's yours until you decide to do something else with it, whether it's to sell it or whether you have to leave it to go to a nursing home or you pass. So just bear in mind, whenever you see, oh my goodness, the bank took my house. They didn't take the house because they want title to the home.
Phil, before you go to the second one now, let's talk about that for a moment, because I deal with a lot of clients and who are buying and selling. As you know, as a realtor, I'm helping clients, our senior clients. And where this myth comes from, in my experience, is that at the end, after the person got the reverse mortgage, used the money, didn't make any payments, kept it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years with the reverse. The reverse was accumulating interest. And so it started out, the mortgage started out at one price, And then over time, it kept accumulating interest, and it increased. The mortgage increased. And now that the person has transitioned, died, gone to heaven, grandma is no longer in the property, and now the heirs are dealing with the estate. The children, the grandchildren, the heirs. And now there's this mortgage that in some cases is larger than the value of the property today. And now the bank is saying, well, we just want our money back that we loaned to your grandmother 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And the heirs are saying, yeah, but the house isn't worth that. So if we sell the house to pay you back, the bank is taking the property. Talk to us about that, because I think that's what's happening.
Okay, there's a little bit to unpack there. So let's go back to the fact that if we don't have to make a payment on these reverse mortgages as long as we live in the property. When we don't live in the property anymore, then the mortgage becomes due. If, when the mortgage becomes due, the property value is less than the outstanding loan balance at that time, the mortgage insurance, the FHA mortgage insurance, comes into play, and it pays the lender the difference between the sales price of the home or the appraised value of the home and the loan amount. So that gap is paid for. It's not looked at as a short sale as we might look at it with a regular loan. If we have one of these loans for a long period of time and we have a maximum draw, in other words, if we've taken all of the principal limit and the amount that's available to us, then we're paying interest on that whole outstanding balance each month, and it does accumulate on the loan. So over a 15-year period, if we had no increase in no appreciation or increase in value in the home, then for sure that loan amount, the outstanding loan balance, is going to exceed the value of the property, basically. So there's no more equity left for the heirs at that point. All right. So does that kind of get to the guts of what you asked? Yep, we lost volume. No volume.
I think it does, and I think that clarifies for the audience that the original mortgagee, the grandmother, your parents, the person who got the reverse mortgage, got the money.
They did, yeah. And that's a really good point, because everyone goes, "Oh my God, they stole us. They have all this interest that they packed on top of the loan."
Right.
Well, we can't overlook the fact that when we took this loan out, we set up a process where some money can be taken at settlement and some money can be taken on a monthly basis, and all of that gets added to the loan balance as you're going forward. So we've actually gotten use out of the equity of the home, so that in fact, and this happens a lot, the siblings and the children of the borrowers in this case don't have to contribute to mom and pop's monthly living expenses, right? Because
Yes.
in a lot of cases, before I get into these, it's the siblings that call me, actually, or the kids that call me and go, "Hey, what can you do for me? I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been giving my folks $700 or $900 a month, some amount of money, but now I have to put 2 kids through college beginning in the fall, and I need to do something." And that generally happens to us. So that money is used over a period of time. It's not like it's taken away.
There you go.
All right. So if
Let's go to the next one.
we're going to go to the second one, because it's perfect. It's a perfect time to do that. You can own more than the house is worth. This is true. We just talked about that. But an important fact here is that, in fact, when we have someone that passes, or we have to put them in a home for care and they can't live on their own anymore in the home, then the loan gets called, it has to be paid. If the balance ends up being more, the outstanding balance ends up being more than the value of the property, then the insurance comes in and pays the difference. So the part that I want you to hear here is that if you're a son or a daughter and you have your own things to take care of, you want to be sure that this loan is not going to leave you with a debt. You are not going to have a debt here because of the insurance. And we call that process a non-recourse loan or a non-recourse feature, and it becomes really, really important. So there's a couple of ways to dispose of the property. Most of us don't want to live in our parents' home. Some might. There might be, some historic value to it, or some sentimental value from the sons or daughters. If there is, they can purchase the home back from the lender at 95% of the appraised value, not the outstanding loan balance, right? So let me give you an example there. We have a customer, and we've had a customer in Baltimore. The lady had lived in the home from birth, and she was 77 years old, and her mom passed. And the lady was referred to me. I started talking with her. We found out that the value of the property she thought was $150,000, and they owed $210,000. So it was a $60,000 loss that she was concerned about having to pay if she bought the house. Well, that wouldn't be so. What would happen there is she decided that she would pay off, she would buy the home through this process, and the home appraised for $100,000. So she bought the home for what? $95,000, which was pretty good. Now, she didn't pay cash for that. She went out and got a regular loan for it. In her case, we couldn't do a reverse because there wouldn't have been enough equity to put it together. But that's an example of how that can happen.
Now, is that common? Is that a common practice that the children, the heirs, those who are left behind, have an opportunity and a right to purchase the property for 95% of the appraised value?
It happens. Yeah, it does happen. I can't say that it happens more than 50%. It's less than 50%. Most of the time, the heirs will, once they get, once the will is cleared up and it goes through probate and all that, they'll put the property up for sale and dispose of the property. I mean, in our world today, we're not all living in the same neighborhood or the same community, or maybe even the same county or state where we grew up or where our folks live. We could have somebody in California. I have a situation right now where I have somebody in Scottsdale, Arizona, who's the power of attorney for his mother in Florida. So, and she's 96, and we're doing this to help with the in-home care. It's providing funds for the in-home care, but that gets off the subject. In his particular case, when she passes or they have to move her out of the home, they'll have to pay the loan off. Well, he has no interest in buying a home back in Florida. So if in that case it will be sold and the lender will be paid off, and the difference will go to the will, to the heirs. Okay, because I mean that would be the normal case. We would see that as a normal case, that there's going to be proceeds left over, and it's just like any other loan. You go to settlement, you pay the lender off, and then whatever the proceeds that are left are dispersed the way the will requests or requires. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Yeah. It does indeed. So next, number 3.
Okay, number 3. I may have to move. So we've been talking about the possibility of the loan giving the borrower money for a period of time, and eventually we exceed or use all of the money that's available or that we were allowed to get, and there's nothing left. So this myth is, gee, as soon as that happens to me, I'm going to have to move out of my property. And that's not true. The notices and the notes in the program insists that the borrower has a right to remain in the property as long as they are alive, they live in the property as their primary residence, they pay their taxes and homeowners insurance, and condo fees or HOA if they have it, and they live in the home in a habitable way. They maintain it so that it's habitable. Everyone gets worried about, oh my God, it says the lender says I have to maintain my property. Well, we maintain our property anyway so that we live in it for the most part. So that becomes sort of a side non-issue as far as I'm concerned. But you don't get evicted from the property when your loan balance reaches the top, and they're not asking you to pay it back when the loan balance reaches the top. You just have the privilege of staying in the home. That's an important feature because as older folks, many of us don't want to move. We want to live in the home that we're comfortable in, that we've had for a period of time. We want to age in place, as it's termed in our business. I haven't heard anybody just say, "Hey, I want to age in place, Phil. Can we talk about it?" But it is the phenomena that happens to the great majority of us. So you don't get kicked out of your home. You have the privilege of staying there as long as we're within the terms and conditions of the mortgage.
So then the myth is that you're going to have to move from your home, but the reality is that you can borrow this money, this reverse equity, 60%, 70%, depending on your age, of the property's value. If you're age 62 or older, take that money, help your grandkids go to school, go on vacation, do with the money what you want. Make no mortgage payment and reside in the property and age in place until you go home to see your maker. And so long as you continue to live in that property, it's your property, they're appreciating in value, and no one's coming to put you out.
Correct. Perfect. Well said. Yeah, well said. Yeah.
All right, fine.
All right. So you may have to move out is a myth. You don't have to move out unless you want to. Okay.
Right.
All right. So on this fourth one, it says you can't make your HOA payments. Well,
and then the myth is that if you can't make your HOA payments, they're going to put me out.
Yeah, right. No, so you got to make your HOA payments. You got to make your tax and insurance payments and keep them current. That's no different with any other mortgage. We don't feel it as much on a traditional mortgage because the lender, in most cases on traditional mortgages, collects the tax and interest in the payment that you're making every month. In this particular case, because there's no payment made, obviously you have to maintain them yourself. It's like you don't have a mortgage at all. And in the case, if you didn't have a mortgage, you'd make your tax payments and insurance payments and keep them current on time. Otherwise, people would come after you. So in this case, it's not really too much different. But again, if you're not current with the tax payment, let's pick on taxes because that's the one that gets in trouble the most. If you're not current with your taxes, the lender will take some of your principal limit money, the money that's available to you that you have available, and they would pay your taxes for you, and then they'd add it to your loan balance. They wouldn't continue to do that too many times for you unless we had a formal agreement, and there's a method for us to do that. But they're not really gonna, put a sign on the house saying we're foreclosing the property if we're 10 days late on our taxes, because we had to wait for a Social Security check and to make that payment as it's coming due in September. We have tax payments that are coming due the first half.
There you go. Well, okay. Phil, thank you again, everybody. This is Phil Rose, with Mutual Omaha Mortgage. If you want to get in touch with Phil, let's see if we got Phil's contact information is right there.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
You give him a call. You can shoot him an email. And remember, on Wednesday, September 30th, from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Keller Williams Preferred Properties office at 1441 McCormick Drive. We're going to be hosting a lunch and learn where you come by, get some lunch, and learn. Learn from Phil.
Yeah.
That's right. We're going to have a fantastic time Wednesday, September 30th, here at the KWPP office. Hey, Phil, before we go, I think we got time for those persons who may not still be familiar with, we talked about the myths, but I'm going to run this video intro on the program.
Mark and Linda, a retired couple who've worked hard to build a comfortable life in their home. They're about to embark on an exciting financial journey in retirement. Mark and Linda have lived in their home for decades and are now enjoying their retirement. But like many seniors, they're looking for ways to supplement their income without selling their beloved home or taking on an additional monthly payment with a home equity loan. Mark and Linda have expenses piling up and their retirement savings are running low. They're now concerned about how they'll maintain their quality of life while staying in their home on a fixed income.
Have you considered a reverse mortgage? It's a financial tool that can help you access the equity in your home without selling it. Let me explain how it works and how it can benefit you. A reverse mortgage is a loan that allows homeowners age 62 or older to convert a portion of their home equity into tax-free cash. One of the biggest advantages of a reverse mortgage is that monthly mortgage payments are not required. Instead, the loan is repaid when you sell the home, move out, or pass away. With a reverse mortgage, you can choose to receive the funds in several ways, depending on your needs. You can get a line of credit that you can tap into whenever you need it. The unique feature of a reverse mortgage line of credit is that it grows over time, giving you access to more funds, creating a safety net for the future. You can choose to receive a lump sum payment at closing, you can receive monthly payments to supplement your income, or you can choose any combination of the three options, such as a lump sum at closing and a line of credit, or a monthly payment and a line of credit. Each option has its advantages, and we can help you decide which one best suits your financial goals. Now, one of the significant benefits of a reverse mortgage is that you can use the funds however you like, whether it's renovating your home, paying off existing debts, covering medical expenses, or simply enjoying your retirement more comfortably. The choice is yours.
You might be wondering if you'll lose your home or if the bank now owns your home. The answer is no. With a reverse mortgage, you still own your home, and you can continue living in it as long as you meet certain requirements, such as remaining current on property taxes, homeowners insurance, the costs of home maintenance, and any HOA fees. The home must also be occupied as your primary residence. It's also important to understand that there are costs associated with reverse mortgages. The costs can vary depending on the type of loan, but generally they include an origination fee, mortgage insurance premiums, closing costs, and interest on the loan. These costs can be financed as part of the loan, which means you do not have to pay them up front. For Mark and Linda, a reverse mortgage means they can enjoy their retirement without worrying about finances. It offers them financial security, flexibility, and peace of mind. A reverse mortgage is a powerful resource for seniors like Mark and Linda, who wish to utilize their home equity while continuing to reside in their cherished home. This financial tool can provide a lifeline for achieving financial flexibility during retirement and a dependable safeguard for unforeseen expenses. To learn more about reverse mortgages and whether they're right for you, contact us today. Secure your future while staying in the home you love.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Well, everybody, again, thank you for coming to another episode here of Chasing Gazillions, not the same as Making Millions. Anthony Bowling, local real estate professional with Keller Williams, bringing you important and valuable resources that you can use in your life in the world of real estate. Hey, Phil, I understand you're going to be on a cruise next week. If you're going to be available, we'd love to have you back on the show next week this time. Let me know. If not, we'll fill in the gaps for next week.
We'll do it.
We are all looking forward to seeing you and your team on Wednesday, September 30th, from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Keller Williams Preferred Property office here in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, for our Lunch and Learn event with Mutual of Omaha Mortgage.
Perfect. Great. Thanks, Anthony.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye.